That's it. I pinned my middle line on the front after I marked it with my plumb bob. I pinned the ribbon with many pins, taking care to take the tips inward under the fabric of the mannequin. Now I can put my hand on the ribbon and my fingers won't get stung. Then I did the same on the back. The two lines are going under the waistline since we will remove it later and use this ribbon for another line. Then we set the neckline. We set it only on the right side of the mannequin as is customary. I prepared a piece of ribbon. Before, I placed 2 pins to mark the end of the waist back length and also the end of the waist front length. Now I place my ribbon between these 2 pins without stretching too much so that it places itself naturally around the neck and at the level of the shoulders as well with a soft line. Take care that the ribbon is horizontal for at least 1 centimeter in the middle back and at least 2 centimeters in the middle front. Then let the ribbon place itself alone around the neck. You can now pin the neckline after you checked that it's making a single curve. You don't want it to make several curves around the neck. Now we are going to materialize the bust line. This line must pass through the tip of the breast, so it will be necessary to locate exactly the right bust point. On our size table for 38 size, we have a half apex point value, that is half of distance between nipples is 9.25 cm. This measurement goes from the middle line in front to the nipple horizontally. I measure on my form 9.25 cm and I see that I'm a little off the breast of the mannequin but this is not relevant. I just set a pin to locate this bust point slightly outside my forms 1 to perfectly match the measurements of my table for 38 size. Another measurement is the bust length, which is 22 cm long. This measurement goes from the neckline in the front middle to the bust point, that is the nipple location. The spot where this line will cross my bust point marker pin will be the exact location of the nipple of the right breast, that is the bust point. I measure from the middle of my ribbon on the neck and I find the chest point, bust point at 22 cm on my marker pin. Then I materialize a horizontal line that starts at the front middle, passes upon the bust point and ends in the back middle. To get a horizontal line, I have to measure always the same measurement from the bottom edge of the mannequin and not from the waistline, which is not horizontal since it goes up for 0.5 cm on the side. First, I measure between my bust point and the bottom of my form. Then I report this measurement around the right side of our mannequin to set the bust line and finally pin the ribbon. Here it is. To report this measurement, I use my tape in a straight line. I don't follow the curves of the body like this. Do not measure along the body, your chest line would not be horizontal. I also pin a small piece of ribbon to materialize the bust point on the bust line. Our next line is the waistline. I have to place some pins to materialize the waistline before I remove the temporary ribbon and pin the definitive waistline, which will go from the middle front to the middle back. Be careful, I remind you that on the side, this line is not parallel to the bottom of the mannequin and goes up for 0.5 centimeter. Now I've set my waistline that goes from the front middle to the back middle. Be careful to leave the pin tips underneath the fabric so that you can pass your hand safely. All these lines will stay on your form for a long time, so take your time to set them well, secure them well and hide the tips of the pins. Now we are going to materialize the line of small hip and line of full hip as well. I remind you that the line of small hip is a line that goes by the tip of the hip bone, statistically 9 cm below the waistline, and that the line of full hip materializes the line where the body is the widest, statistically 22 cm below the waistline. First, I set a pin on the front middle at 9 cm below the waistline and another one 22 cm below the waistline. I then measure the distance between these pins and the bottom of my form to report these measurements around the right side of the form and materialize the small hip line and full hip line. These two lines are not parallel to the waistline and do not go up 0.5 cm on the side. Now you can see the two lines I just set. We will then materialize the cross back and cross front lines. These are horizontal lines. We start in the back. The cross back line is halfway from the bust line to the neckline. We measure this distance, calculate its half and set a pin to mark this point on the back middle line. My size table indicates half cross back 17.5 cm. This is the line that goes horizontally from my pin to the side of the arm. To set this line, I pin a ribbon parallel to the bust line below, reporting the same measurement all around, and I finish this line 17.5 cm from the back middle line. I already set a pin to locate this 17.5 cm. This line will be your half cross back line.
Now we are going to report the same distance between the bust line and cross front line, from the front middle line going to the side, and pin a ribbon horizontally toward the edge of the arm to be ended at 16.5 cm. We will thus obtain two parallel lines to the bust line. Please note that the cross front line is not halfway up between the bust line and the front neckline, because the neckline goes down much lower on the front. At the end, you will get two lines located at the same height on your mannequin.